Good evening. I planned on going live, but typical of what has happened in this strange and odd year is I've had some technical difficulties when I was trying to get the live stream going, and so I'm going to tape this and share it with you as well at 9 o'clock. So I'm under the gun here, so we'll get started. I think you'll be blessed by this. I want to start off with reading a little poem. Whose woods are these? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not mind. He will not mind me. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the wood and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. That was penned by Robert Frost years ago on a night just like tonight. The darkest night of the year, the winter solstice, at a time when, can you imagine, early on, as the first dawning, the first understanding of the days shortening dawned on you, and you began to realize, is it that it's creeping away, and that feeling of that we get in this time of year of tiredness, want to sleep, you get lethargic. It's because your energy, the sun, is not shining as brightly. My chickens don't lay as many eggs. All kind of things happen this time of year. We're leaving the time of the harvest and into this time of rest. And this particular year has been a deep and dark year. With the coronavirus, with the whole election fiasco, and just a seeming dismantling and fraying of the very fabric of society. And just like Robert Frost that night, he found himself there contemplating, because the poem is about death and about the end of things, and contemplating the end of things, and that kind of maudlin time we have coming into this now. Christmas is a big celebration and everything, but there's something about that before time. And this year, it's highly significant, of course, with the Great Conjunction happening for the first time in 200 years, in the sign of Aquarius, in the air sign, and moving into February of 2021, fully into the sign of Aquarius, and will be, I believe will be in Aquarius throughout the year. I'm not really that big on the astrology thing. I just I dip my toes in a little bit, but there's something significant about that. And just like in Frost in this poem, we find ourselves really struggling with this year. Struggling with what's going to happen, struggling with what's going to come about, and that comes from our attitude, and this time of year reminds us to focus on how we actually count time, because the whole Industrial Revolution got us to thinking of time in terms of hours and minutes and days, whereas the looking at the seasons, studying the stars, lets us know that there are seasons, that this isn't the end of anything, and tomorrow is not the beginning of anything. They're just seasons, and that this season too will pass. That we know, and again, this is one of the wonderful things about agriculture and digging your hands in the soil and watching the seasons and being aware of it, is there's a sense within you of things changing. And that's what's happening now. There's a sense within me of a change happening. This is a time of rest and getting things together, of finding your center, of discovering who and what you are and what you're all about. And really, that's what we're here for. you know, sure, I've got this permaculture, sustainable permaculture thing going on here, feeding our family and everything. And, you know, I've got other things going on, but it's not about developing or growing anything for me. My true desire is that I be able to hold space for you to find your way. And in this season, I've struggled through this as well, and am ready, and have meditated with the intent on this very point, the whole space in these 10 days as we're winding down to the end of a dark year, of a year when we've wondered, whose house is this? But just like Frost, we've got miles to go before we sleep. We've got promises to keep. The promise that was inherent in you, that was born in you, the moment you drew that first earthly breath outside the womb. When you breathed in all of the potential, all of the design, all of the purpose that you have was birthed with you in that moment. And like me, many of you have lost your way. You've gotten discouraged and distracted by the words of others and the vision that others have for you that doesn't line up. And you may have found yourself constantly questioning. And this year has been really hard for you because there's so much that has been crumbling. These things that you trusted in, and even in yourself, trusting in yourself. You know, jobs, governments, the medical field, all kinds of distrust issues. So you're left kind of wandering around in the dark. Whose woods are these? Whose house is this? Where am I on the verge of? Are we on the verge of a destruction? Are we on the verge of being wiped out? I say far from it. This is winter. This is the beginning of the winter, the beginning of the preparation. And if you know anything about farming, you know that in the wintertime, the roots and the root plants begin to develop and to begin to harden off and store the energy, awaiting the increase in days of the spring. And that's what you're to do here in these days. And these days are ahead. See, everything that is needed for you to fulfill and do everything you wish to do, every desire of your heart, you have within you. It is in your DNA. We are creation. Creation is us. There's no separation. And in these coming days, in these next 10 days, I hold space for you. I'm going to give you permission. I just ask you to give yourself permission to dream your dreams, to imagine the world that you desire, because you're beginning to create it. You're beginning to form that seed. And in these next 10 days, you're going to be planting it and watering it. Start writing down your desires. And write them down as if they've already happened. Because in reality they have. The moment a thought is birthed, it comes into reality. It has no choice but to manifest in some way. If you understand anything about how energy works, it cannot be stopped. So start writing down your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations. These are not just some willy-nilly whim. These are divine ordinations that have been placed within you. that you have placed within yourself. And now this time is calling them out. Your hopes, your desires, your aspirations, they're in your very DNA. They are who you are. You were birthed into this dimension for this time. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Forgive yourself. Love yourself. I want to leave you with a little blessing. And first I'll do the Hebrew. Yair Adonai penav elecha v'chenecha, Yisei Adonai penav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the All bless you and keep you. May the All shine its light upon you and be gracious to you. May the All lift its countenance upon you and give you peace. In this coming year, we're going to do some more articles, some more videos about magic and what it is. We're also going to do some videos on, continuing videos on the permaculture, because that ties in perfectly with everything that we're doing. It ties in with magic. It ties in with the movement of energy. It ties in with the paradigm shift that's coming. And we'll do some videos on voluntarism. But in the meantime, take this time. Find out what you truly desire. Set your intent. And we will be believing it for you. I love you. I respect you. But most of all, I need for you to be you. Namaste.